everyone. So I'm going to be doing a short video today on how to blow dry your hair from home. For those of you who haven't met me before, my name's Hayley and I'm the proud owner of Zeno's Haven Hair Salon. We also support and promote mental well-being around the Stockport and surrounding areas. So to begin with, if you shampoo your hair once or twice a week, what I would recommend to do is do 2 shampoos to start off with. So the first shampoo will remove any dirt from the scalp, and the second shampoo will cleanse the scalp and also cleanse the hair. So what I've decided to use today is I've used the volumizing shampoo by Milkshake. So in every single shampoo that Milkshake sells, it has a colour protector in it. So sometimes I would use the Colour Care shampoo, but what I've decided to do today is, because I want to give my hair body and volume with this blow dry, I'm going to use the volumizing solution, because what that will do is it'll protect my colour, but it will also give my hair lots of body and lift. So what you do is you shampoo your hair twice, and then you'll get a towel and you'll towel dry the ends as much as possible. If you don't towel dry the ends before you put a hair treatment on or a conditioner on, it will dilute the solution. So 1, you'll get wastage of products, and 2, you will also, it won't be as effective on your hair. So get a towel close by next to the shower, towel dry your hair off as much as you possibly can, and then just apply a treatment to the mid-lengths to the ends. Whatever you've then got left on your hands, just get a small amount and pull it through the tops of your hair. What I tend to use then is Tangle Teaser when I'm in the shower, and I will just comb my hair through. So if it's a hair treatment that you're using, you want to leave it on between 10 and 15 minutes. So once you've combed that through, you can just clip your hair up and leave it in the shower while you're having a wash or doing your teeth. So what I tend to use a lot is the intensive hair treatment. The reason why I think it's really important to use a hair treatment over a conditioner is, with a conditioner, all you're actually getting is a detangling product. So when you put conditioner on the hair, it will literally work on the outside layer of the hair and detangle. Whereas what a treatment actually does is it replaces the protein and the moisture loss. So you lose your moisture every day from pollution, from colouring your hair, from straightening your hair. Also proteins you can lose when you have your hair highlighted. So I do recommend at least once a week, if you could towel dry your hair, pop a treatment on for 10 to 15 minutes. What I tend to do is I'll do it on my self-care day. So I'll run myself a nice hot bath and I'll put a nice hair treatment on, then leave it on for 10-15 minutes, even half an hour. But what I wouldn't recommend is that you put a hair treatment on and you leave it overnight. The only ones you can leave on overnight actually state on the product to leave on overnight. Some of them, if you put them on overnight, they leave the cuticle open and exposed for too long, which is, it's not actually good for the hair. You need to be putting a hair treatment on, and then once you rinse it off, put a little blast of cold water, and that will close the cuticle down and seal it, ready for your blow dry. So before we start the blow dry today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be spraying some Incredible Milk 12 Effects onto my hair. You only need to be spraying maybe 3 or 4. So it's like a 10p piece amount. This is exactly the same when you're doing your shampoo as well. So you don't need to overuse your shampoo. A lot of people will tend to pile loads of shampoo on there. All you ever need is a 10p piece amount. Because the products are so concentrated, it's only a very small amount you need to use. So a bottle of shampoo should be lasting you minimum 3 months. If it's not lasting you that long, then you're applying far too much product. So I've put the Incredible Milk onto my hands. Make sure you work it through your hands and then just apply it to your ends. What the Incredible Milk will do is it does 12 different things. It's a heat protector. It also adds shine. What else does it do? It repairs all the hair types, frizz control, protects and maintains the colour, so it'll lock the colour in. And it also protects the hair from UV rays, so from being outside. So if you just want to work it through the ends, and then whatever you've got left, just pull it through the top of your hair, maybe like the fringe area, What you don't want to be doing is applying this to the root, because that will cause the hair to go quite lank and quite oily. So once you've applied that, now if you decide that you want to give your hair lots of body, then my favourite product that I use is the Volume Maximizer by Bricato. So some people will just spray it all over the hair, but what that's doing is it's just it's not evenly dispersing it. So what I'll do again is I'll always apply to my hand before I apply any product. So a couple of sprays on the hands, rub it between the hands again, make sure it goes onto the pads of the fingers, and just rub it right into the scalp at the back, at the sides, in the fringe area. And you'll notice today as well that my hair isn't dripping wet. If you make sure that your hair is, usually once it's been shampooed and rinsed off, if your hair's dripping wet, what I'd recommend is you get the hairdryer and you blast the hair off until it's about 70% dry, okay? Because if you don't and the hair's soaking wet and then you start blow drying, it'll take you ages to get the blow dry. One, you'll probably give up, and also two, what you need to be doing is, if the hair's 70% dry, when you start applying your products like I've just done there, they're gonna sink into the hair better. They're not gonna sink in if the hair's dripping wet. So I've made sure my hair, because I've been setting up today, my hair was already pretty much on its way to being dry. So yeah, so you've got your products in the ends and you've got the product on the root. Everything that I'm recommending here actually helps to make the blow dry quicker and easier. So having the right products, having the right equipment, and also the right brushes makes a massive difference with a blow dry. You know, a lot of my clients always say, oh, I can never get my hair the same as when you do it. Well, that's because I have certain tools and certain techniques that I use. So I'll be covering those for you today. Now what we're going to do next is, I just wanted to tell you how important it is to use a nozzle. So by using a nozzle with your hairdryer, you're going to be directing the heat out of this section here, like the funnel. If you don't use a funnel or the end of a hairdryer, all the air's coming out and it's just going in no direction. It's going everywhere. So you're not actually going to be able to smooth the cuticle down. Because the main thing that we're going to be doing today is we're going to be working with the brush and working with the hairdryer to make sure that the air that's coming out is going to be parallel to the brush that we're going to be using. So we're going to be putting the hairdryer just over where the brush is and smoothing it down the hair. Also, the brush that I use is it's called a Regionus brush and it's from Spain. So when I first started hairdressing, probably like 15 years ago, I used to work in a place called Heaven Spa, and the boss Josh there used to absolutely love these brushes. The reason he liked them was because they create the correct amount of tension onto the hair. It's also a boar bristle that they use. So if you use like a metal brush, which is fine when you're doing kind of curly blow dries and you want to set it, that's absolutely fine. But if you're trying to really smooth the hair, then this will put the correct amount of tension on the hair. And like I said, it's come from Spain because women's hair in Spain is naturally a lot more coarse and a lot more thick. One of these brushes lasts you about, this is a new one that I've just got out of the pack today, but they usually last you about 5 to 10 years because they're so powerful, well, they're so well made. So yeah, this is the brush that I'm going to be using today. So what we're going to start off by doing is we're just going to start blasting the hair off all over just to get some nice root lift on the hair. So instead of drying the hair from the ends, what we're going to do is start off by drying the hair at the root. Once it's dry around the root area, that's when we can start smoothing the ends. What you can do as well is, some people like to use the nozzle that way, some people like to use the nozzle that way. It completely depends on how you like to kind of position your arms, whether you're left-handed or right-handed. So we'll work that out as we go along. So to begin with, if you can just get your hairdryer, your product should be on your hair, just start blasting the hair off at the root till it feels like it's a little bit drier. those of you that have a fringe, what I would recommend is before you dry the rest of the hair, I would get a comb and do your fringe first. By doing your fringe first, when the hair's still really wet, it's just going to stop you from getting any kind of like jumps at the front. You know, if you've got any of the car flicks or anything. So once you've kind of washed your hair, sat down, put your product into it, just before you do that, the next bit of blow drying your hair would be to do your fringe. I know all of you won't have a fringe, but for those of you that got a fringe or got anything kind of around the face, I will get that bit dried first. So if you just put the rest of the hair out the way, pop it in a clip, and then what we're going to do is we're going to use a comb and we're going to dry all the hair one way like that with the comb or with a brush, and then we're going to dry all the hair back that way again. What that's going to do is it's going to make this bit dry really smoothly so that you don't create any kind of lift on the fringe area. So we'll dry it one way, dry it back the other way, and then we'll just tickle the ends with a brush. What you see a lot of people doing is putting a brush underneath straight away and blow drying it, and with that you end up with a really big fringe, which is not what we want to get. So if you just watch what I do now, and you can join in if you want. So get your brush. So dry it that way. Make sure you're drying it on the root area, so don't worry about the ends at the moment, just make sure it's the root that you're facing the air onto. Right, now when you feel like the root area is completely dry, we're just going to take a brush and we'll just dry over the ends of it. Sometimes for this I do actually use a smaller brush, or I do use the wire brush just to get a little bit of a bend in the ends. So your hair dryer for me at the minute, it's facing that way, and you're just going to smooth over these ends. So get your hand underneath your fringe and just smooth. So my hairdryer is not going into the hair, because if putting it into the hair is going to burn the hair. It's actually just sitting above the brush, parallel, and it's kind of just slightly angled in so the air is sitting just into the top of the hair. Keep your fingers moving and turning like that, and then you're just doing it at the same time. If you want to just get used to just doing this first, and just twizzling your brush, and twizzling, and rolling back, and twizzling. Yeah, get your head around that first, and then your hairdryer will come in, and it'll just kind of mimic exactly what the brush is doing. So you're going to be going like this. So you go right down, roll it up, right down, roll it up, like that. You're happy with what you've done like that, and the hair's still hot, you could turn the cold setting on, and by putting the cold setting onto that, it'll make the hair more shiny and smoother, a little bit smoother. And there's your fringe. So you've got a nice smooth fringe, and then you've got, you know, really smooth ends as well. Now my fringe needs cutting desperately. So now the fringe is dry, take the rest of the hair back out again, and we're going to dry the root sections off first. So leave the ends as they are. Let's try and get all of this section here and all this section here as dry as possible. Okay, grab your hairdryer and you're just going to rough dry all of your hair as much as you can. Once the roots are dry, you can work your way down to the ends of the hair. So this is how dry your hair should be before you start using the hairdryer and the brush. So that's the mistake that a lot of people make. They will literally start blow drying the hair when it's soaking wet. That's why you're not creating any body at the root, so you end up with a really flat hairstyle. And also halfway through you're going to get bored and just think, you know what, I'm just going to put my head upside down and I'm going to blast it off. So by doing it this way, all we're doing is, it's almost dry now, and then we're going to start taking sections and start just smoothing out the ends. If you don't use a hairdryer and a brush, what's happening is, if say you blasted your hair off like this now, okay, it's dry, I'm happy with it, then you get the straighteners and you start straightening your hair with 220-degree heat. What's happening is all your cuticles are open and exposed. So if you imagine it like a roof with slates on it. So you've got a roof, and you've got a roof here, and you've got all your slates sitting on top of one another. That is exactly how your cuticle looks. So if all your cuticles are left open and the heat comes in, like the rain comes in on the roof, it's going to damage it all. So what you need to be doing is, by smoothing all the cuticle down by using a brush and a hairdryer, what you're doing is, you're protecting the hair, but two, because you've made the hair into a really smooth surface, you know, the sunlight and the light, when it reflects on it, you're going to get a lot more shine, because light reflects a lot better on flatter, smoother surfaces. So it really, really is important to make sure that you are using a hairdryer and brush when you blow dry your hair. You know, you might have paid a fortune to get your colour done, and then, you know, colour fade would happen as well if you're going to leave your cuticle open and exposed. So yeah, I'm going to show you now what to do. So start at the top of the head, work your way back, a bit like when you use a child and you wanted to separate your hair and kind of put it into pigtails. Well, that's the same kind of thing that we're going for today. So you've sectioned your hair down the back like that, and we're going to take a section from, just a small section, probably from like a little bit up from where the ear is, and you're going to drop that bit of hair down. Then you're going to get all your hands, twist it round, and you're going to need a you know, some of the crocodile clips like this. So get yourself a couple of these crocodile clips. They're not expensive. I think you can get them from Tesco or Amazon, and just clip that hair out the way. Then we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. So take another small section, twist all your hair right out the way. The key to this and winning at this is to make sure you're working with small sections, just while you're learning how to do it, really. And then after that, you can take bigger sections. So there you go. That's the 2 pieces of hair clipped up out the way. So you don't have to worry too much about your root area now, because it's almost dry. Because a lot of people struggle getting into those areas, but because they're almost dry, it makes the job a lot easier for you. So what you're going to do is, you are going to get your brush. So get your brush in the right hand. Everyone's works differently with a hand, so you have to find what works best for you. So you get your brush in the right hand and your hairdryer in the other hand. So at the minute I'm using my nozzle that way, okay? So we're going to completely mimic the hair. So what we're going to do is, if you want to pick up the hair first with this hand, so pick the hair up with this hand and pop this brush underneath at the root area. There you go. So you've got full control of it. The best blow dry you can do is when you have full control of the hair, okay, at all times. So take your time with it. So that's in there now. That's there. And then what you're going to do is, you're going to get your hairdryer, and like I said before, see how my hairdryer is pointing down towards the floor? You're going to point it down, and you're just going to very slowly work down the hair like that. You don't have to turn your hand or anything. You can just keep your hand the same. When you get to the bottom, you get your hairdryer, put it underneath the hair like that to support the hair, just while you take your brush out. and then you put your brush back underneath at that point and turn it a little bit, and what that will do is that'll create the tension for you. Okay, so we'll do that again. So just practice for now. So that goes into there and you turn it, okay? I'll show you that again. So take a section of hair with your hand, get the brush, put the brush underneath and turn it in like that so it's locked in, okay? That way you can let go of this piece of hair. Once you let go of this piece of hair, the hairdryer is going to come in and you're going to just slowly go down the hair like that, okay? Your hairdryer isn't going into the hair, you know, or facing that way into the hair. Your hairdryer is going down with it, okay? You get to the bottom, you hold on to it, you put your hairdryer that way. If you need to turn it off, you can do. And then you just kind of sit the hair's sitting on the nozzle, well, just past the nozzle. So that goes there, and then you bring your hair up again and do the same. So we'll try it now with the hairdryer on. Now just to smooth the ends out, you can start moving your hand a little bit at the end. So once the top of it's dry at the bottom, you start turning your hand like that. Okay, that's your first section dry. I hope you've all managed that. If you have, that's absolutely brilliant. So that's your first section. So then what you do next is you pick up the hair from this side, do exactly the same thing, but you'll swap hands over with the brush. So you'll put the brush in this hand, you'll pop it underneath like that. If you want to have a little practice first before you put your hairdryer on, you know, we've got all the time in the world at the minute, so if you can master this now, just imagine when you've got your nights out in a few months' time, you'll be great at it. So there you go, there's that there again. So with this hand, you hold it up and you're going to go down. I mean, if you want, I wouldn't really turn it too much, to be honest, because if you turn it too much, you're going to get in a pickle and you're going to end up kind of getting caught up in the hair. So just literally for now. This is a straight blow dry today anyway. My apprentice and stylist Abby, stylist now I mean, sorry, she's qualified, is going to be showing you a curly blow dry this week. So that'll be a little bit different. She'll be using the click and curl brushes. And for that you will, as you're moving it down the hair, you will need to turn as you're moving. But for now we're doing a straight blow dry, so you don't need to worry about that. So one thing at a time. Pop that in. Get your hairdryer. I'm going to go down the hair again. You ready? That side done. Sorry if I turn my head sometimes, it's just because I need to look in the mirror when I'm doing it as well. So there you go, there's your two sections. Absolutely brilliant. Okay, so you've got these two sections here that have been blow dried. Perfect. So what you're going to do now, very simply, go back to this last one that you did, which is this side, and you're just going to take another section from the back of the head round to maybe the top of the ear this time, and drop that down. And spin that and pop that back up again. And then this side, do exactly the same, just repeat it on this side. From the back of the head, brought round to the top of the ear. So we're still only focusing on the back of the hair here yet, we've not gone to the sides. So we'll do that, and then we'll pop it up again. So keep your sections very, very neat, and it'll make it easier for you. And then all we're going to do now is just completely repeat it. So you leave this, you don't need to bother with this hair now, this hair's dry. So you'll get your next section of hair and you'll put your brush underneath it like that. And then we're going to start working down again. Yeah, some people that might like to have a bit of shape around the face, I'll show you how to do that in a minute. But for now, let's just do it nice and smooth. So get that in your hairdryer and we'll go again. Hairdryer under. And again. that straight, that piece now. Do you see the shine and that? And the light reflection you get? It's absolutely beautiful. Yeah? You know, the way I was trained, we was never ever allowed to just blast the client's hair off. It's so important to do the blow dry. Yeah, and most of the time, once you've done a blow dry, you don't actually need to use straighteners. If you use the correct products, you know, and do your blow dry properly with the right equipment. Also, you want to check your hair dryer as well. Sometimes you could have had your hair dryer for years and it can be caught like burning the hair. So just check, you know, what your hair dryer is doing if you're happy with your hair dryer. I can pick up hair dryers from the wholesalers if you need me to. At the minute, I use the Parlux hair dryer. It's a compact one, you know, I think cost me around £80. It's amazing, but it's because I use it day in, day out on clients, so I need one that you know, is really, that works well. And then in a minute, I'll tell you about our She hair straighteners. So I've used She hair straighteners now for probably about 10 years. They come from the same factory as far as I know as GHD, and they're half the price. And you can achieve all types of curls and waves. You can achieve the really tight curl or the really soft curl. And Abby this week will be showing you 3 different ways of creating that curl with the She straighteners. So keep your eyes peeled for that. So anyway, that's that side done. Pick up the other side. You can try it all different ways. So before, obviously, I was putting my hand underneath and going down that way. If you find it better this way, you can do as well. So you can put the brush in the other hand. I'll do it this way just to show you now. Move that out of the way. Yeah, so we'll try it the other way just for other people that feel a bit uncomfortable with it like that. So hand like that. I actually myself find it better the other way, so then I'll swap it round again. Pop my hand underneath like that. Move down. There we go. And then that's basically all you do. So you're just working up the sides of the hair now. And then, yeah, so I'll show you what to do with the sides. So with the sides, do the same. So take a section that's probably just a couple of centimetres above the ear. Pop your finger in. You can do it with your finger or with a comb. I tend to do it with my finger. If you've got some long nails, you can use that as a separator as well. Except for I've actually got no nails on at the minute, which is crazy for me. Pop your clip back in. So now we're working with the side of the hair. So when it comes to the side of the hair, what a lot of people like to do, some people like to blow dry it straight down, and some people like to kind of turn the brush inwards. So if you put instead of putting your brush straight like we've been doing before, you can actually put your brush on a diagonal. So what you're doing is you're following the line of where your hair goes. So you can put your brush like that, put it underneath, and then when you blow dry it down onto the face, what you're going to create is you're going to create that lovely kind of feathered look around the face. Everyone's different. Some people like it smooth, straight down. Some people like it to curve onto the face. So I will show you both ways. So for everyone who wants it straight, you just pop it in again. And go straight down. That's if you want it really smooth. If you want it to have a kind of to frame the face, then we'll just put the brush to the side like that. It's almost the same again, but we're just putting it onto the face. So if you just tilt your head to the side. get to the end, just go over the ends a couple of times just to get that bend going on. You can do it like that, and then if you put the cold shot of the hairdryer on, that will set it on the little bit of the curve. Yeah, so do you see there, we've got a little bit of a curve going on. You put your hair back up, there you go, you've got your body and your curve. Yeah, so that's that side. And then just repeat the same on the other side. Put that bit of hair down. I'm using 3 or 4 clips now. So yeah, and then take a section just above the ear, spin it round, and then we'll start on this other side. Get your brush in. There you go, that's your sides bits done. We'll keep going now, we'll work up the hair. So keep doing exactly the same as what we've done till we get all the side sections done. And then in a minute I'll show you what to do with the top. Once you're getting near the temple areas, you can probably just take some sections like this and pick the whole of the hair up and spin it and put it into just one clip. Now what you're left with here is, you've got a section from the back that's still wet, yeah, and a section from the side that's still wet, okay? Hi Marley. So you'll start with this section here, and we're going to blow dry that nice and smooth, yeah, and then we'll go to the other side, and we'll pick that up, and we'll blow dry that nice and smooth as well, and then that's pretty much your back section's done, and then we'll work on the 2 front sections. Okay, so what you should be left with at the very top is your parting. If you want to separate your parting over, and then 4 little sections. So you should have a section for the back, a section for the front, a section for the back on the other side, and a section for a front here. So you might want to, I've got extensions in mine, so I need to separate them off because it's still quite a bit of hair. So I'll leave that section there. And for now I'm just going to pick this section up here. If you want body, if you want to create body, you can pop your brush underneath it like this. And you can put your hairdryer here. And you can go upwards. And then you roll it back down. And you go upwards. And you roll it back down again. And you dry the root of the hair like that. And you just let it sit there for a couple of minutes. When it's all dry, you can actually put the cold shot on and shot it like that. When the hair's hot, it molds, but then when the hair's cooled down, it sets. So then what you're doing there is you're setting the root, so you're giving it some body and some lift. This is if you want to make it, you know, have body. So brushing up, down, up, down, up. Keep turning your brush. Down. And that'll give you loads of body and lift. If you don't want loads of body and lift, then put your head to the side, just like we've been drying it before, and smooth it. Just like that. Take your next section. Once you get the knack of it, you won't need to keep going down and putting your hairdryer under it. You can just kind of roll your hands back up, but that takes a little while. This is all going to take a bit of practice as well. Obviously, I've been doing it a long time. So, you know, each time you blow dry your hair, you'll get better and better at it. So this top section here, I'm just going to put my brush underneath it now. That's that side all done. Nice. And then you'll take this back section at the back and we'll do the same again with this. Okay, so that's all the hair dry. So what I would recommend you do at the end is you turn your hairdryer to cool and you blast it all over the hair. That'll make sure that the cuticles are completely shut down and it'll give you some extra shine as well, which is what we all love. And there we go. So some of you will be happy with your blow dry like that, and some of you might like to use the straighteners. Now we always recommend that you use a heat protector before you straighten your hair, but the products that I put on earlier, which is the Incredible Milk, already has a heat protector in it, so you don't actually need to reapply it again. Yeah, so for those of you that want to see how to straighten your hair afterwards, just to smooth it down a little bit, just carry on with the video. Okay. So we're going to do exactly the same as what we did before. We're going to take a section right down the back of the head. And we'll take a small section underneath the ear again. We'll twist it. It feels a lot easier when your hair's dry. Pop that on there. Exactly the same with the other side. Twist it. Put that onto there like that. Pip along stockings. And now what a lot of people will do is they'll start to straighten the hair. When they straighten the hair, they won't actually use a comb, and if you don't use a comb, you're going to have to straighten over the hair more times than what's needed, because with a comb what you're going to do is you're going to evenly distribute the hair over the comb, so you're only actually, it's going to go as wide as what the plates do, so you're only actually going to go over it twice. You should only ever go over the hair twice with a pair of straighteners. Take it nice and slow. If it's not straight after two glides, then you're either using too big a section, you're not using a comb, or you're going too fast. So what I do is I get my comb, pop it at the root of the hair, put the straighteners behind it, and just go nice and smoothly down to the bottom. Just as your comb comes off, keep hold with the straighteners, put the comb back at the root again, and bring it down. Yeah, so that's all you should need. If you've done your blow dry properly, you're not kind of getting rid of the volume you've created today, you're just closing in those ends, just so your blow dry lasts a couple of extra days. Move over to this side, pop your comb in, move it down the hair. As it's getting near the end, the straighteners, you want to grab it again with your comb, bring it down. Yep, and we're going to do that, and we're going to move it all the way up through the hair now. Now when it comes to straightening of the fringe area, what I'd recommend is that you do it in 2 goes. So if you can move all the hair behind the ears, put all your fringe forward, okay? Just to make sure it's nice and smooth, if you just want to take half of the fringe, like that, twist it, pop it into a clip, and then you'll put your comb underneath. Now make sure as well, don't go just straight down with it because you'll end up with a fringe like that. You want to just very slightly, as you get to the bottom of the hair, just very slightly turn your wrist, not even a quarter, you're going straight down and just turn your wrist a quarter of the way, and that'll make sure that it's a really kind of oval curve in the fringe. So, and what I'd also be careful of is, so you go down, slightly oval, take your straighteners off and just hold it there for a couple of minutes. Not even that, probably about 5 seconds, just to make sure that when you drop it, you don't burn your head. That's happened to me a few times. So, next section, put your comb underneath. Remember, try and get like a little bit of a curve going on. Get your comb under, let it cool down, and then let go. And there you go. Just finish off. If you want to pop some bits behind your ears, sometimes you have bits here that can be a little bit like baby hair. You might just want to go back over those little bits just to smooth it a little bit like that. There we go. So this is how your hair should look like when it's been blow dried. It'd be great if you could all send me some pictures of what you've achieved the first time you blow dried your hair. I'm also doing a video on how to do a root touch up. Obviously I don't really want you to be colouring your hair at home, but for those of you that can't stand to look at the grey coming through or anything like that, I will be showing you a step-by-step on how to apply a root colour. So all that's left to do now is I use the Science Renew, which is a serum. You only literally need to use 1 pump of it, so a product like this should be lasting you, I'd say, about 12 months. So 1 little pump into your hand, again, rub it in your hands like that, and we're just going to run it through the ends just to seal it all down like that. Yep, so you don't put it on the root first. You see a lot of people that put it on straight on the root and then they've ruined the blow dry because their hair's greasy for the rest of the week. So just run it all the way through the ends, last any little bits over the end of the fringe onto the root area. Now if you have any of those annoying little hairs that are just growing through the top there, what I'd recommend is I use the fudge hairspray. They do really small ones that you can carry around in your handbag. I think they're about £6 or something, or they do the big size. I love it because of the smell. I think it's coconut and apple. And also it's a hairspray that does what it says. It's got a really nice hold to it, but if you want to comb your hair through later on, you can't tell that there's been any product put into the hair. It doesn't feel sticky or anything. So then I just use a little bit of the fudge hairspray just down the root of the hair, just like that. Yeah, that'll make sure your fringe sets into place, and so does the top of your hair. I hope you've enjoyed my blow dry tutorial today. Like I said, send me some pictures, send me some comments. If there's anything more that you'd like to know that I've not covered today, then I'd be more than happy to do different tutorials. We've got Vicky that's doing tips on nail maintenance. We've got Abby that's going to be doing hair ups, showing you how to braid your hair, how to do a curly blow dry. We've also got Ruby, our makeup artist, which is going to be showing you how to create a smoky eye look with the makeup that she uses. So yeah, just keep in touch with us. Let us know exactly what we can do to help you while you're off and while you're at home, and we'll be happy to help. Thank you very much.